Today's topic is whatever. So you can ask whatever you want to ask. So that's why I said whatever. So always we are the people talking, and so you can ask, all the questions, whatever question, it doesn't matter, related to your meditation and anything you want to ask. So sometimes we have to keep it free. So sometimes people are just listening and go. So I want to hear your questions. Then if I know the answer, I will give you an answer. Otherwise I don't. I can say I don't know. Any question? Maybe these young spirits, they have some questions. Maybe baby has so many. No?
Bailey's friend had a question. She's not here though, Bailey.
Yeah.
Maybe you can answer
Oh,
that.
yeah. My friend, she always asks me all these, questions, and one today she said, how do you, know when you're enlightened?
So it's very easy to understand. So think about the moment when you are happy. How do you describe that happiness? When you are really happy? There's a feeling, right? You feel about your happiness. Same thing, right? When you are so another word for the enlightenment is a happiness, right? Perfect happiness. So then ask your friend, how do you feel when you are really happy? There's a feeling, you feel it's a right. Same way, you feel it. It is right feeling inside you. But that feeling is very different, it's permanent, it's not changing. Right? That's why I say it's a perfect happiness. Right? Very easy to understand that feeling. Any other questions? Any comments for that? Do you feel enlightenment? Oh, I heard something from Brian, like a few days ago, right? You talked about something, how you felt some moments.
Yeah, I had an experience I hadn't actually had before. It's a good way to describe it, the happiness. I was actually just out walking the dog and was looking at the leaves changing and sort of, it kind of hit me how transient everything is, which is something we talk about here. And it was just a good, peaceful feeling, like understanding that, that's life. Our time is limited. I just kind of noticed I wasn't full of thoughts at that time. Just really in the moment, walking the dog, something so simple. But it was nice. It was peaceful and happy, and I think, I guess when I imagine what enlightenment must be like, it's probably something like that. Just that glimpse of total calm, peaceful happiness that just actually stays a little longer than.
And also, when we experience that moment, there is no any attachments involved. It's totally free. So as you said, we have those moments. Sometimes we are clicking those moments. And at the same time we lose that moment. Right? Then many people come to me and telling me, oh, I had that experience like 10 years ago. Right? I had it. I'm so sad I lost it. Now they are so angry, they want to get it back. It's gone. Right? Whatever you experience that moment, you cannot get the same experience again until you die. It's gone. So when you experience this perfect happiness, so it is permanent. It's not changing. So we are maintaining that. That's the way we have to experience that. Yes?
So then what you're kind of saying then is if you're making progress, then you're going to be happy even if something bad or ugly happens to you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's the hard thing to do.
Right, exactly. It doesn't matter what is happening, good or bad. So think about when we react to the good and bad, our reactions, right? It's totally different. The person who is enlightened, doesn't matter it's good or bad. If something good happens, it's okay, accept it and enjoy it. And if something bad happens, it's accepting too. You know. So, any thought?
Yeah, I'd like you to discuss a little bit about how Buddhist teachings is all about working on ourselves. I mean, it really focuses inwardly for the most part, and it's all about attaining this level of peace, detachment, understanding internally. But there always comes a time when we have to turn to the outside world. And we've seen great Buddhist teachers and practitioners who have been very socially engaged in issues of justice and peace and whether it's a political protest or a cause or an intervention in a loved one's life. What would you have to tell us about how to balance when to work on the self and when to turn it to the outside world?
Right. So this is the thing, I can say 99% we are focusing on self according to the Buddha's teachings, right? Even 100% I can say something, right? So I want to keep a little bit, the gap to work on. So 99% we are really focusing on my and our own enlightenment. So that's why Buddha said, all your happiness is inside this fathom long body. That's the thing he said, fathom long body. Everything is here, right? So when we experience something good inside us, then we feel we want to do something for the world and the community. That's our feeling. In one way, it is very dangerous. Especially the people are not perfect. Right? If somebody is perfect, it's okay. Like Buddha or something like that. Go and do it. It doesn't matter. They don't take anything personally. Right? They do whatever they can. Right? Think about when we really read the Buddha's life story. It wasn't like rosy, all the time not wonderful. Now people insulted him and blame and all the criticism and everything he had is his life. But it doesn't matter for him. He didn't take anything personally because his mind was, the totally perfect. He know how to manage that. But in our case, when we do meditation practice, we feel something good, then I call that's our delusion. So the first, when we experience something good, the first thought come to my mind or your mind, I want to share with somebody who is next to me. Sounds wonderful, very generous, right? But sometimes dangerous, right? So think about most of, the people, I know the couples who come to meditation practice, sometimes wife comes first, then husband comes later, then husband comes first, then wife comes later, something like that. Then one person experiences something good, all the time they come to me and say, Bhante, how am I going to share with my husband? I really want it. I'm all the time telling the people, forget about your husband, forget about your wife. That's the way I'm responding to people, why you bother about him or her? So just do your meditation practice. That's why I said it is dangerous, but still you can do it. But you have to know how to maintain it. Otherwise, so many people who are practicing meditation, going towards the spiritual path, they are trying to do all the other wonderful work, external work. They are hurting a lot, including myself. Now I am kind of social work. I am working with the people all the time. I know how many things come to my mind personally, sometimes how I am taking them. Then good thing about long years of practice, even the next minute, next moment, right away I understand this is the point. I have to keep it outside. That's the good practice. Otherwise it's very dangerous. That's my point. Did you experience that? So when you feel something good inside you, you want to share with somebody how difficult it is. Right? When you are peaceful, you want to give the peace for other people. They don't care about the peace. Right? Sometimes people say, I don't want peace. Some people are responding to that like that. I don't want peace. Leave me alone or something. That.
I was going to say, like say when you deal with like you're married or whatever, and you're trying to share it with the other person, is it because you actually haven't developed yourself enough, and there could still be a bit of ego in there, and you think you're doing it for the reason to help them out, but you're actually maybe doing it for some other reasons, like I know this is the right thing, and this is good for me. It's got to be good for you.
Right.
Kind of like trying to justify your own, what you think is right to the other person.
Again, sometimes we want to see other person way I want.
Yeah, that's
So sometimes think about, if you want to see my wife is doing that too, that's good for me.
Yeah.
Right? Then it's helped me. Sometimes I'm really care about myself more than the other person. So my idea is okay to help people. Try your best to help people without having expectation. If they come to meditation and do it, it's fine. Otherwise, do whatever you can do. Most of time people get hurt. Right? I saw somebody. Any? Yeah.
I think even if you do something for completely the right reasons, just to help them, then if they don't get it, if they don't care, then it hurts your feelings, and that's why it's dangerous to try to help someone.
Right.
I had a recent experience where I was trying to help somebody who was homeless. I let this girl stay at my house for a while. We were taking her to programs to get off drugs and stuff, and eventually got her into a homeless shelter and stuff, and then we didn't hear from her for a while, and I found out she's drinking and all this stuff again, and I was kind of crushed, because I went through all this effort to help her
Then
out.
how you felt?
Luckily I'm practicing meditation and things. I know I would have been a lot worse, and I'm
Right.
involved in other spiritual programs too, where they teach us don't get too attached, and don't get your hopes up too high. But otherwise, it still hurt. Even though I knew better.
Because whatever we do with expectations. When you say, I have a goal, that means expectations. So this means we hurt. Right? That's why I said, okay, I just, I love the word whatever. That's why I said in me, whatever, I just do it, it doesn't matter whatever happened. Just do it with your heart. Right? People get it, it's fine. If they don't get it, it's fine too. Right? Very difficult to maintain that, the awareness. Very difficult. Now I feel, I am maybe 1% better with that. Think about it. 1% good with that. Lot to work on. Always we have some expectation. Yes?
Sometimes I get confused between non-attachment and not caring. Like I'm really confused by the bumper sticker sometimes. What to do, who cares? And to me that's a negative connotation. Like if I said to someone, well, who cares? That means I don't care.
Yeah, right.
But I think what I hear in this conversation is that you give or you care, but you don't expect something in return.
Right,
It's hard with family.
So this is the thing, always I'm telling, don't try to understand this wisdom through the words. Because, words are very powerful, such a powerful thing, words, but still very poor. Right? Always I'm telling people, don't try to understand everything through the words. Feel it. If you go through the words, you are in trouble. Right? So once the Buddha said after his enlightenment, whatever I realize under the Bodhi tree, it is very difficult for me to put into the words and express to the people the same, the taste I had in my life. Very difficult. Even Buddha said his words is very poor. So think about our words. Especially when you speak another language. Very limited.
So I was just thinking something relevant to that. When I first started coming, my idea was I'm going to get something.
Right?
I'm going to sit on this cushion and practice until I attain my mindfulness.
Right.
It's something I'm going to earn. I think maybe in our culture that's sort of how we operate. And I think what I've come to realize along those lines is I've stopped pushing so hard and realized I need to let go of things, not attain.
Right.
It's not something I'm going to get coming here. I come here to let all the stuff go.
Yes, this is the thing. When you come to meditation, that means you are come to losing, not gaining. Right? We all are losers here. Right? If you are thinking I am going to gain, so again you are whatever you are dealing everyday life, the same thing. If you think about that word, when I think you all are losers, it's kind of negative. It's not. That's why I said very difficult. Go through the words, right? So when you come to meditation, you lose everything, all the difficulties and defilements, whatever you had, all the difficult things everyday life, you are going to lose them, right? Then you are balancing person, right? Yes.
And I think one of the things we're losing is like when today we did, and think about the people we don't like, and I used to have a whole list of them, and now I don't have many. It's like I had a hard time to come up with any. So it's kind of it's like, there's no big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
His husband either?
Sometimes you have to, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's the practice. Any other questions? That's good. Open, the discussion. I like it. Any questions? Do you have anything?
I think attachments are very difficult to let go. You really have to work at being unattached, right?
Other thing I experience, we are really enjoying the attachments.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right? I call it the addicting. We are addict to the attachments. We think without those things we cannot live.
And they don't have to be material.
Right? And no need to.
Yeah.
Attachment in the ideas and thoughts and feeling, whatever. Right? So there is a little pleasure. All the attachments, so we like that pleasure. Right? Remember that all the time I'm using that monkey story in Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka we have coconut, right? Drinking the coconut, we make a hole, and then we are throwing out the shell, right? So then monkeys running around and jump and grab that coconut shell and looking inside, and they see some white meat inside. Then they put their, the hand in and fingers and scratch them and try to, fist and try to take that meat out. They cannot, because they are fisting. Then what they are doing, shaking like this. It's hurt. Then they are screaming. It's hurt, right? Again and again they are doing it. Then they finally let it go and release and take the hand out. You know how they behave, monkeys. Take the hand out and look like this. Looking at the fingers, and then put it again. So think about that representing our the pleasures. How we are attaching to that little meat inside that shell. That's the way we are doing with the attachments. Right? Very difficult for us to let it go, that pleasure. Right?
I think it's more difficult when you're attaching to something that in your mind you perceive as good. I became really attached to the teachings and the practice for a while, to the point where, but I think that's something that I recently discovered, is that any attachment is bad. And for a long
it doesn't
time,
matter.
I thought, well, but this can't be bad. It's my practice, it's good. And like Bill or somebody over there was saying, wanting to push it, not share it. In my mind, it was share it. My experience with the people around me was also an attachment.
Right, exactly.
And it was not a good thing. And so finally, I stopped practicing for a while, but it was probably a really good thing I did. For a couple weeks, I didn't sit on my cushion, and then I realized a better way, I guess, to practice.
Right,
So
that's good. And other thing, even when you really get into the point, we have to give up the meditation too. Right? If you really attain to the enlightenment, we have to give up the meditation too. That's the way Buddha talked about his analogy, like a raft. Somebody has come to a river, then he want to cross the river. Then he cannot do that. He look around and collecting some woods and making a raft. Now he crossed the river. After he crossed the river, he thinks, oh my God, how much the energy I put to make this raft. I love this raft. I cannot leave this raft. I want to carry it home. Then I want to make a museum for that. And so that's the way we are thinking about things. So Buddha said that's totally wrong. After you cross the river, leave the raft lovingly and kindly. Maybe somebody will use it and go your journey. Right? Even sometimes good things in the last minute we have to give up. Right? Sometimes we are the attachment to our practice. Oh, I'm doing meditation, I'm so good. So that's another delusion. Yeah. Very difficult, I totally agree with you. It's very difficult. It doesn't mean we cannot, so we can still try.
But I don't think it's that simple where you just say, no attachments, I'm going to give up all my attachments. Because aren't some attachments beneficial?
Sorry? I didn't.
Aren't some attachments beneficial? Are they good to have? In other words, can't we have attachments but be mindful of
Oh
them?
yeah, that's the way we have to live in this society. Because we have so many things and so many people. Easily we are interacting with them and things, right? So that's the way we have to deal. That's the way we have to live in the society.
Well, it's not just society, but interpersonal relationships.
Yeah,
The
anything.
attachment comes with the expectation, at least for me. Like the word attachment to me means there are conventional things we need, but having an expectation, because when it's not met, that's when the crisis happens. That's what I found was happening with me. So I use the term attachment more when I have some expectation for a particular outcome. I have to be okay and let it go. I'm going to do what I'm going to do and then find a way to be okay with whatever the outcome is. So to me, that's the expectation maybe is a better
Yes,
word.
it's totally right. Yeah. So the problem is not the people or things, how we interact with them, how we get it. Right? So think about it. You can have so many things. You can use them and you can live with them, and then again how you deal with them. So you can attach or you can use them. Right? But still there's a lot of care too. That's another part of the practice. Right? Any other?